Mark Ruffalo was answering MCU Hulk questions at C2E2 over the weekend, and in classic Mark Ruffalo fashion, he spilled the beans on some interesting things when it comes to the future of Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Do me a favor and smash that like button like the Hulk, and let's get into this news. Mark Ruffalo was recently at C2E2. He was answering questions from fans, and he let some very interesting things slip out about the future of Hulk in the MCU. First up, let's talk She-Hulk. Now, you will remember that on the casting sheet for the She-Hulk character, it literally talks about the blood transfusion from Hulk, who would be her cousin, and that is how she's going to get the She-Hulk powers, and she's going to be an Avenger later on. And so it was at that point where the rumors started circulating that Mark Ruffalo would reprise the role of Hulk for at least one episode during the She-Hulk show. And he indeed revealed that he is in preliminary talks to be in the She-Hulk show. Now, I think actually this preliminary talk thing is interesting. We spoke about this a little bit earlier on the morning stream over on the Den of Nerds Live, but it's interesting to me because I think there's sort of a weird disconnect where these characters and these actors really want to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm sure Mark Ruffalo would love to be in She-Hulk. Marvel Studios wants him to be in She-Hulk, but his agent's probably like, hey man, you got to play a little more hardball. You can't just be so friendly with those people over there. We need to actually negotiate a fair price for you to show up for that show. So I think he sort of has to say preliminary talks. You know, I think this is something that these actors have to do for leverage in these scenarios. It's really weird. Like, even back in the day, there was talks that Robert Downey Jr. had not confirmed that he was going to do the voice of Tony Stark for What If, right? That story was reported. All the actors are coming back to reprise their role for What If. And then someone in someone in Robert Downey Jr.'s camp literally came out and said, hey, we haven't signed that. You know, we're not for sure doing that. But barring some huge fallout between them or their inability to come to a proper number of compensation for Mark Ruffalo, he will likely show up in the She-Hulk show for probably just one episode at least.
I see this as an absolute win.
However, I mean, frankly, it could be way more than one episode. There are a lot of rumors that Red Hulk will also be introduced during the She-Hulk show. Maybe that has something to do with Banner's blood as well. Maybe Banner's going to play more of a role than we at first expected in the She-Hulk show. We have no idea, but it is worth noting, of course, that he is in preliminary talks to be in She-Hulk. Now, next up, Mark answered some really interesting questions about the Universal deal, what is going on with Hulk, and the future of the Hulk character in the MCU. He confirmed that Universal Studios still has distribution rights for the Hulk. Therefore, there is not going to be a solo Hulk movie anytime soon. But he also told people frank and right out front that this did not include Disney Plus, that the Universal thing did not apply to television, and therefore they could do a Hulk show on Disney Plus. Now, Ruffalo mentioned that the way he would do it, or the show he would want to do, is Hulk being on the run and still trying to figure out the Banner Hulk thing and then leading that into Professor Hulk. Here's exactly what he said here. I'm reading from a comicbook.com article. I'd probably kind of start him on the run again a little bit. I think that really works, and in this new digital age, we're all surveilled, and that might be kind of an interesting dimension to how he stays on the run. That's probably where we'd start. Him deciding, I don't want to do this anymore, but it's hard now because he's the professor. He's hard to hide. Now, he goes on to say this, to be totally honest with you, I want to see the movie where Banner and Hulk ultimately have to battle it out, and then the professor is sort of the brainchild of that. Kevin Feige, are you listening? We want Professor Hulk, he added. The only person in the universe that Hulk is afraid of is Banner, and I want to see the ultimate showdown between the two of them and maybe Wolverine. Now, let me stop for a second here and just explain that I think the Wolverine thing is totally a joke. This was something that was picked up on months ago where Ruffalo was answering some questions at a Comic-Con of some sort in China, okay? And he was asked separate things, talked about how he had meetings with Kevin Feige, and he was asked separately about Wolverine and Hulk 181 in that story, and he said he'd be really into it. And some American journalists sort of misrepresented that as saying that he had literally talked to Kevin Feige about doing Hulk and Wolverine together, and that's not true. Although he did say after being asked that question that he did become a fan of that idea and probably went on to read those comics and was like, yeah, this would be pretty cool. But when he says that, like at the end, just adding in that and probably Wolverine, I think it's just like a little bit of humor based on, you know, how crazy it is that everything he says gets blasted out into articles on we make YouTube videos about it, and it's just this big thing now because of the Avengers. So no, I don't think he's being totally real in saying that, yeah, he would want Hulk versus Wolverine. And I think he's talking about what he would want to see as a movie. I think he's interested in literally going back to before Professor Hulk is like happening, but like that Hulk is still on the run. He's just deciding he wants to be on the run. He wants to do a movie like that, perhaps in the 5-year gap between Infinity War and Endgame, or I guess the beginning of Endgame and the end of Endgame. So, frankly, what does this mean? Like, what does it mean that Mark is saying these things? Does it confirm anything? Can we extrapolate out from these comments anything? Well, number one, I think we can definitely make mention of the fact that the Universal deal is still in play. This is something we were confused about. We didn't know for sure what was going on with that. It appears, yes, Universal still holds the distribution rights, meaning Marvel not likely to make another Hulk movie anytime soon. It's also obvious that Mark Ruffalo loves playing the Hulk. He wants to continue to play the Hulk. He's interested in doing a series. He wants to do his own Hulk thing that focuses on that character and the Banner and Hulk conflict, and that's really cool. So I know he's had meetings with Kevin Feige. I'm sure there are still more Hulk stories to be told. And look, I love the Hulk character, but I gotta be honest with you guys, and I'm sure many of you feel this way as well, I'm not that into Professor Hulk, okay? I think we need to make Hulk savage again. We need to break apart this combo that we have with Hulk and Banner. And there were some really interesting deleted scenes that just recently came out about Professor Hulk. And in these deleted scenes, it's a little bit more explained that they're still both separate entities. They're just agreeing to work together. But the depiction of Professor Hulk in Endgame really makes it seem like Hulk is totally gone. It's just Banner. But that's not what's going on, right? Or, you know, it's debatable that that's what's going on. So as a fan, yeah, I totally want more Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, and Hulk, but I just want to get back to Savage Hulk, and I see no reason why he can't, you know, play around in the She-Hulk show and then come into the Avengers. Like, he's definitely a very valuable member to the Avengers, even if he stays as Professor Hulk, so why not? Bring him through. He has memories and relationships with some of these other characters as well. That could be really cool. So I say, why not? Let Mark Ruffalo continue to be Hulk in the MCU, but it'd be great if we could figure out a way to get him back to being savage. Also, beyond Mark Ruffalo just showing back up in She-Hulk to make it so that that's how She-Hulk is created, like if we're starting to get a lot of these different Hulks, like Hulkling, like She-Hulk, like Red Hulk, I think it just makes sense that you have Hulk as well. Like that to me is necessary. I think it would be quite strange if they sideline Mark Ruffalo for future, you know, MCU stories, but then you have Red Hulk show up and then She-Hulk is an Avenger. It just seems a little weird to me. Like, I think we need to know what's going on with Bruce and Hulk, and why not? So I hope they continue to telling those stories. But that's the updates and what I think about the news, but I want to know what you think about this, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, before we get out of here, folks, I do want to tell you guys we are doing something very special here on the channel for the month of March. We are doing a Battle Bracket 2020. We've got a bracketed tournament with different characters from different fandoms all facing off. You can vote to see who will actually win in each fight. You can actually fill out a bracket at a website, which I will leave in the description below. And people that get perfect brackets or that have the highest points after the end of the month will be entered to win a grand prize of a gauntlet, and other people will get some merch. Stay tuned to this channel, the community tab here, and the live channel, and our social media if you want more updates about what's going on with the Battle Bracket 2020. Now let's shout out Tilted Hayes. Yes, indeed, Bobby Reynolds or Robert Reynolds is the name of the century. So shout out to you, Tilted Hayes. And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, who is the mother of Scar, who is the son of Hulk in the comic books? That's right, in the comics, Hulk had a son. I want to know, with whom did Hulk have that baby with? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this video. The Den of Nerds is independent media. If you want to support us, you can do something as simple as liking or sharing this video. If you want to financially support us, you can join the list of names you see below and become a supporter of us on Patreon. We also do live streams all week, Monday through Friday, over on our live streaming channel. Support independent media. Support the Den of Nerds.